Do you want to feel better, have more energy, and be your best and healthiest self? We want the same for you, and that's why your friends at the Total You Show are connecting with top industry experts to deliver the best information to you right where you are. Please welcome your host from the Total You Show.
Hi everyone, this is Season 3, Episode 2 of the Total You Show, and the last in our series on blood sugar. I'm Linda Bailey with the Total You Show, and today I want to talk about 3 more ways that you can affect balancing your blood sugar. Those are meal timing, sleep, and exercise. So some helpful hints about meal timing. Obviously, we know we need to eat regularly throughout the day, and that's just so we can keep our blood sugar stabilized, but also help you feel good, keep your mood steady, and a whole host of other benefits. Who out there, me included, has skipped meals and then wonder at the end of the day why we feel so tired or maybe even cranky? There's a reason that we need to eat 3 meals a day. And we've talked about the quality of our food that we eat at those meal times and what it should look like. But just as a recap, it should be a way that you can balance your macronutrient intake, which focuses on protein, vegetables, which green are preferable, complex carbs, and a small dose of healthy fats. So you want to look like the magic plate. A third of your plate in protein, healthy protein, a third of your plate in vegetables, green preferably, a third of your plate in complex carbs, and then 1 or 2 tablespoons of healthy fats. So if you don't know what some of those are, you can go back to some of our previous episodes in this series, and we go through a long list of what those are, as well as attaching some Word documents that you can reference as well. But by incorporating regular meals with balancing those macronutrients we just talked about, that can go a long way in keeping blood sugar under check and keep you off the blood sugar roller coaster that we've been talking about. So with regular meal times, it helps your body relax a little bit because it can become stable. It can work better because it's in a routine. And without regular meals, eating once a day or just little snacks here and there and then having a huge, heavy dinner really keeps your body in a constant state of stress. And that's when our bodies store fat and they just don't work efficiently. Lastly, eating regularly reduces inflammation because your body isn't as stressed, and it improves digestion. So I have a few helpful hints about meal timing, and you can try these out, see if it makes a difference. But they are trying to eat, first of all, within the first hour of waking up. What that does is really fires up your metabolism for the day, and it just gets you off to a great start. And just make sure, again, that your meals focus on a third protein, a third complex carbs, and a third of veggies with a tablespoon or 2 of healthy fat. Introducing sugar, especially through, coffee, cake, or pancakes and syrup and whatever, it just kind of throws you off for the day. So if you focus on this macronutrient balance, it'll get you off to a great start. One other thing you can do, try eating a pretty hefty breakfast. Again, that balances those macronutrients that we talked about. Then eat an even bigger lunch, but then try less at dinner. So the biggest meals in order of largest to smallest would be the biggest being lunch, then breakfast, and then a smaller dinner. Just try it. See how you feel after 7 days of that. You can also set aside 20 minutes for each meal. That's part of, our series where we talked about slowing down, really focusing and enjoying our food. Take a break from work. Chew your food slowly. Again, it takes the body a good 20 minutes to signal fullness. So that's one reason where a lot of people overeat is we're just not taking that break and we're eating at our desk and we're just cramming it all in as quickly as we can to move on to the next thing. But we tend to overeat because our body can't signal that it's full if we're not taking time to really notice that signal. Also, to kind of go along with that, eat until you're about 80% full. So that way you're not stuffing yourself and you really have energy. You feel good after that meal, especially if you balance the macronutrients. Meal times should be about 4 to 5 hours apart. However, the more active you are, the more frequently you may need to eat. And again, if you do eat snacks, try to balance it, balance your macronutrients with each snack as well. And we've mentioned or referenced that magic plate. So again, focusing on protein, fat, and fiber is a must. Try to keep your meal times consistent, meaning the same time every day. Also, what would be helpful are eating dinners before 7 or 7:30, or at least stop eating 2 hours before you go to bed. And then lastly, if you take in a lot of caffeine, try observing the effects of it on your blood sugar, because it can mask your natural rhythms and provide a fake source of energy. So especially if you have mood swings or energy dips during the day, it could actually be related to having too much caffeine. So just try it out 7 days. Kind of reduce that intake. Keep it in the morning and not have it all day long. And see if that helps to regulate your mood and help you feel better. So the next thing I want to cover is sleep. This also can be about timing, just like eating regular meals. But sleep allows our body to be in a routine. It allows the body to relax, repair, detox, and rejuvenate. That's what our bodies do while we're sleeping. But it's really hard to feel good if you aren't getting enough sleep. And I know a lot of you out there have a large issue with sleep. Lack of sleep raises your cortisol levels, and that kind of puts your body in a stress response state. And if it's in a constant state of stress, it can lead to weight gain, insulin resistance, and high blood pressure. This also can increase your hunger hormone, ghrelin, and that increases your cravings for comfort food. Also, a lack of sleep means a lack of energy, and who wants that? No one wants that. So, again, I know sleep can be a big struggle for a lot of people, but there are a few factors that can affect the quality and the quantity of your sleep. And some of these are in our control, and if we don't do these, it can negatively affect sleep. But one of those things, honestly, is eating late at night. It's hard to sleep when our stomach is full. Our bodies aren't meant to work on digestion overnight. It's meant to repair us. So if we stop eating 2 hours before we go to sleep, we have an empty stomach and our body can focus on what it needs to throughout the night and detox us from everything that happened that day. Another thing in our control is, again, caffeine intake. So try not to, do a whole lot of that, and you can just track it. See if it's really affecting you. Another thing, right before bed, I know it's really hard, but a lot of us do work at night, and really we should have like a 1 hour power down before bedtime. And what I mean by that is cut off all these stimulating things. So if you struggle to fall asleep, stay off social media that last hour before you go to bed. Don't surf the internet. Cut the TV off, read a book. The blue light that's emitted from all of these things can negatively affect your sleep. And then right along with that, if you're watching really stimulating shows on TV or the news, or anything like that, it can really fill you with tension. And your brain just can't, relax and shut all that off, straight from going, watching TV to going to bed. So if you power down, start turning everything off, reading a book, soak in a tub with Epsom salt, just make sure you're turning off your computer and your phone and get into a routine that your body gets used to and see if it helps you get good sleep. Along with incorporating roughly going to bed at the same time each night. That could help as well. And the last topic I want to cover is exercise. And I will tell you, this is one that is pretty hard for me to make time for. So I am talking to myself through all of this as well. But regular exercise does balance blood sugar. And since sugar has 4 places to go in the body or be stored in the body, those are the bloodstream, liver, muscles, and fat cells. Movement requires energy, and it uses glucose or sugar that is present in the bloodstream before it taps into the storage areas like the liver, muscle, or fat cells. And we can only store so much sugar at one time. If all of our reserves are full and we eat more, the sugar has nowhere to go but to sit in the bloodstream. And that requires higher and higher levels of insulin to try to bring the blood sugar back down, or the sugar's converted to long-term storage as fat cells. So through exercise, we can use that stored sugar or glucose and give glucose a place to go without having to use a lot of insulin to do it. So just moving your body 3 times a week will increase the release of neurotransmitters, in particular serotonin and dopamine. And those release stress, anxiety, and improve mood. It stokes your metabolism, it helps with muscle building, builds bone, gives tone to the body. So many things, improves digestion, improves sleep, balances the immune system. But it also forces the lymph system to move, which gets rid of toxins, waste, and all kinds of unwanted things. So it may help to have somebody that you're accountable to help you stay motivated to move. So if there's someone that can help keep you on track, that would be something that you could try out and see if it helps you. But notice that I'm using the word movement. Sometimes the word exercise creates a negative feeling, but let's just move. Do something you like. It doesn't have to be lifting weights or running. Think about what you did as a kid. Did you ride a bike? Take walks? What's stopping you from doing those things now? Even though it is COVID and we're in a pandemic, you can still do some of these things and stay socially distant. So just keep in mind, moving not only gives you good results, but it helps you feel good, it's fun, and it can be enjoyable. So maybe you need to make a list of some things you like to do to move. And then when you don't feel like doing it, refer to this list and just pick something. And make sure when you're making this list to keep in mind some days you have different levels of energy than others or different time constraints. So every day you probably need options. So if you already had the list prepared, you're one step closer to getting your goal met. But any movement counts, even if it's just 5 minutes. You just want to move one step closer to moving in the direction towards your goal than you were yesterday. So take the pressure off. You don't have to all of a sudden go from not moving to working out at the gym 5 days a week. That's just, probably one reason people don't see through their health goals. It's just not realistic. So keep all that in mind. But again, the whole thing is about balance and just doing what you can every day to move you one step closer to your goals. So I'm going to just recap all the 7 ways that we've talked about throughout this series to help you balance your blood sugar. And they are 1, drink more water. adding protein in the right quantity to each meal, adding the right kinds of fats in the right quantities to your diet, eating higher quality foods and balancing the macronutrients at each meal. We talked about meal timing, sleep, and exercise or movement. So I hope you have found the series interesting. Maybe you've learned a few things, and hopefully you've made some positive changes in your health by helping to balance your blood sugar. And I would love to hear back from you to see what you thought was most helpful. If you would like me to cover more series like this, but any feedback at all is appreciated. So that is it for this episode of The Total You Show. So make sure you listen in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. to hear another episode, or tune in from our website at any time. And you can find us using any major podcast platform. But until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.
That's all for this episode of The Total You Show. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, podcast, follow us on social media, and tune in to next week's episode. Helping you achieve the healthiest version of you, that's Total You.